Ladies and gentlemen, there is a question which I want to ask you, a very simple question, and I'll need a straightforward answer. Who made Uhuru Kenyatta the President of the Republic of Kenya in 2013? Who made Uhuru Kenyatta the President? The first answer, the first choice A, the people. Was he voted for? B, William Samoei Ruto. C, the deep state. And D, Uhuru Kenyatta's own efforts. So I just need a very straightforward answer. If you believe Uhuru Kenyatta was made the president by the deep state, just state the deep state. If you believe that Uhuru Kenyatta genuinely won the elections through his efforts, just say Uhuru. If you believe it's William Ruto who made Uhuru the president, please just state that. And let the answer be very brief, very straightforward. I want to read it. I want to read the answers before I proceed. Because in this video, I want to debunk the myth that William Ruto made Uhuru Kenyatta, or to some extent, Raila Odinga. He made Uhuru Kenyatta the president in 2013, and he made Raila Odinga the prime minister in 2007. I have a completely different opinion. Because you all know for sure that we can't also take away credit from the DP. He's a good campaigner. He added value to President Uhuru Kenyatta's campaign. When he was with Raila Odinga, you could see him. In fact, there are people who believe that if it were not for the heart of Raila Odinga, Ruto was insisting that Raila Odinga should have allowed his troops to continue fighting on. But I want to focus on this President Uhuru Kenyatta. Who made Uhuru Kenyatta the President of the Republic of Kenya? Was it Ruto? Was it the deep state? And if it was Ruto, how did he manage to do that? How? Personally, I strongly believe that Uhuru Kenyatta became the President of the Republic of Kenya because he was a project of the deep state. If you've been following the elections pattern in this country, you can only say that 2002 elections was a bit fair. But again, there are those who believe that Mwai Kibaki was allowed to become the president because at some point he was part of the deep state. That nobody else was going to be allowed. And that's why he was allowed, so that Uhuru Kenyatta could be groomed to take over. So in my view, Ruto did not make Uhuru Kenyatta the president because of the following. Number one, the deep state played Ruto. You know, we were coming from 2007 election in which Raila clearly won. It was charged. Then we were going to go for another election in which Raila was still going to be a candidate. So the deep state wanted a strategy of stopping Raila Odinga. And the simple strategy of stopping Raila Odinga was to get the missing link. So the missing link was the deputy president, who was by that time, I think was he one of the ODM deputy party leader. So the deep state figured out, how can we get Ruto out of Raila Odinga's camp? So the intelligence started penetrating Ruto through a few guys here and there. And they convinced Ruto to work with the system. That's why they created a narrative that it's Raila who took Ruto to the Hague. That was the work of the system. So that Ruto supporters could get angry with Raila Odinga. But who took Uhuru to the Hague? If Raila took Ruto, who took Uhuru to the Hague? Because the deep state knew so well that getting Ruto out of Raila was actually getting Rift Valley out of Raila. So it was going to create a perceptual value that Raila has lost. But if they wanted those votes, they could have still gotten them from Kalonzo Musyoka. But they just wanted to puncture Raila first. Because remember, Rift Valley, Nyanza, Coast, Western voting as a block, it means they were going to control parliament. So if you remove Rift Valley, they have so many seats there. So the fact is, Deep State played Ruto and he fell into their trap. And that's why now they're not comfortable with him. So that's the first reason why I believe Ruto never made Uhuru the president. If Uhuru wanted 3 million votes, he would have received those 3 million votes from Ukambani, Kalonzo. But because they wanted to puncture Raila first, Ruto became the easiest target for them. Number two, you know, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta ruled this country for, was it 18 years? Then Mzee Moi came, again ruled for 24 good years. Right? Then Kibaki came. By the time Kibaki was coming in, the Kikuyu nation had tried all possible means to recapture the power. So when they recaptured it through Kibaki, then Raila Odinga became a threat in 2007. Then they figured out that the only way to retain the presidency in the Kikuyu nation was to support Uhuru Kenyatta. And that's how, for example, smoothly, Uhuru transitioned from Jubilee, from KANU, where he was a presidential candidate in 2002, to become a deputy prime minister, for that matter, a minister for finance. So it was designed. The Kikuyus wanted a way of ensuring that the presidency was retained in the House of Mumbi. And because they had the state power, they were doing everything possible to ensure that Uhuru becomes the president of the Republic of Kenya, including cheating and playing with the deputy president, that they were going to support him again after Uhuru Kenyatta's term. So Uhuru Kenyatta became the president of this republic because the Kikuyu nation, who were in power by that time, wanted to retain that power through any means possible. Number three, if Ruto believes that he made Uhuru the president, he can make himself the president. But the truth is, along the corridors of power, it is alleged that at some point, Ruto was almost going to Raila Odinga's side. But what happened? Raila Odinga delayed facilitating because Ruto had put his demand. For me, I'll want half the cabinet. And I'll want, I don't know if it was 4 or 8 billion. Then those in Raila Odinga camps convinced Raila Odinga that why should you give him the money while you can use that money to go to the people directly. And that's when Raila Odinga started going to the people directly through people like Margaret Langat in Rift Valley, people like Sally Kosgei, Henry Kosgei, those his team. But they could not penetrate. And by the time, before Raila Odinga could make his mind to offer Ruto the running mate slot, it is alleged Uhuru Kenyatta's mother, or Uhuru Kenyatta family, Uhuru the family, came with a bag loaded with money and they gave the DP, and they gave into the demands which the DP wanted. One of the demands the DP wanted was half of the cabinet, and that's why when he took over, he just gave the challenges because he was negotiating on their behalf anyway. So coming to claim that he made Uhuru the president while the support was actually commercial, then it doesn't make sense to me. Because if Raila had played balls, probably he would have supported Raila Odinga. Number 4, in my view, we must also give credit to where it is due. Uhuru Kenyatta became the president of the Republic of Kenya because of his personal effort. When Moi dragged Uhuru Kenyatta from I don't know where and made him the minister, the chairperson of Kenya Tourism Board, nominated him to parliament, made him a cabinet minister, before we knew Uhuru was the vice chair and or the chairman of KANU, so fast. Uhuru was defeated. And Uhuru learned his lessons. Uhuru knew that after 2002 election where he lost, there was no way he was going to defeat Mwai Kibaki. So he decided to join Mwai Kibaki and wait. He waited. If Ruto wanted to make him the president, Ruto would have made him the president during that time. He waited for Kibaki to finish his term. Then, after finishing his term, he made a comeback as a presidential candidate. And it was not the first time Uhuru was contesting. Uhuru had contested in 2002 and lost. So as a person who had contested and contested again and won, you can't claim that it's you who made him. Yeah, you only added certain value to him. Lastly, I also strongly believe that there is a covenant between the Mois and the Kenyattas. There's a covenant on leadership in this country. And that's why I want you guys to watch Gideon Moi and his moves, politically speaking, very, very closely. So I tend to think that this covenant allowed Kibaki to come in. And Kibaki had no option but to ensure that Uhuru becomes the president. How did Uhuru become the president in 2013? Was he elected? And by who? Who elected Uhuru Kenyatta as the president? For you to claim that you made him the president, who elected him? Nobody. People just voted, but those votes never counted. So I tend to think that there is an agreement between the Kenyattas, Kibakis, and maybe Moi that they were to give Uhuru the seat. Ruto's work was very simple. Bring Kalenjins on board. Bring pastoralists on board. Then we now go outside there and create a perception. And that he did perfectly well. I don't know what you think. And by the way, I have an offer for you guys. If you are in Nairobi, or if you are traveling to Nairobi, and you need an apartment where you can stay, fully furnished, I have a good offer for you at Great Wall Gardens along Mombasa Road. Just mention my name. 4-bedroom house, you'll get at 4,500. Very nice. 3-bedroom house, you'll get at 3,500. So assuming you are traveling like 3 people, so instead of going each in his own, you can share. Then you save. Then the 2-bedroom house is going for 3,500. So for any inquiry, please call 0715 86 5623. 0715 86 5623. Just do that. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.